Welcome to the O Show, your number one podcast for everything training, mindset, and nutrition. I am your host, Oren McCarry, and it is my goal to help you access the best information around to allow you to kick ass in the gym, in the kitchen, and most importantly, in your head. Between my own experiences and those of my amazing guests, I'm confident we will do that. So let's strap in and level up your life starting right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome to the O Show. I am your host, Oren McCarry, and today I have on my good friend for a business special. We have a returning guest, Mr. Chris Irvine from Nitrafit in Scotland. How are we?
Oh, you all right, mate? Glad to be back, mate. Buzzing. Fucking love to be invited back onto the O Show, mate. My favourite show.
This must be about 4 episodes you've been on now, so you're definitely up there with the highest ranking guests. And the business ones actually made have took off the past little while. I've said I'm going to do these every fortnight as a minimum on a Monday. As a little bonus, I'm going to try to do the Friday fitness, like fitness topics, health topics every week, but the business stuff every second week, and they're taking off quite well. So looking forward to seeing how this one goes, mate, because we've got quite a big topic today, which you are well versed in. So we're going to talk about time management for fit pros.
Yeah, mate, I think it's important because the one thing that I always think about when I talk about this subject is we always think we're too busy because we're not planning properly. So this is something we can dive into as we go on in this episode. But people who always say to me, Chris, I'm just so busy I can't get it done. I just say, show me your planner. And because they never plan properly, they're not using their time properly. They think they're busy, but actually they've got plenty of time in their day, mate. It's just not planned specifically. And that's why it ends up all over the place, because it's an unplanned day. And then inside, you leave all your plans in here, inside your head. I'm pointing to my head like you guys can see me. It's a fucking recording. Big O can see me. Inside your head's the worst place you can keep anything, mate. It's got to go down in front of you. We'll talk about the ways we can do that, but it's got to go down in front of you so you can see what your day, what your week looks like, and these to-do lists and tasks, and they're all inside your head. Then they multiply and just go massive inside your head. That's what creates that anxiety, overwhelm, stress. When in reality, it's just a case of get it down in front of me, and then we can start working out what's the priorities are and how we're going to go. But that's just a quick version, mate. We're going to dive into this shit as we go on.
100%, man, 100%. And obviously you're well versed in this because, like me, you do mentoring, and it's pretty much your full-time gig now. The business fitness wise is running well for you for your brand, and you're pretty much diving full into mentoring coaches. So you talk to a lot of coaches about this, and like, how often does this come up, speaking to coaches? Like, if you got I think you got about 40 guys on your business mentor maybe at a time. Like, how many people out of that 40 struggle with time management, would you say?
It's a lot, mate, because a lot of the coaches we deal with, they're brand new. So the business is just like very minimal at this point. And see, when it takes off really quickly, the adaptation of because when you run a really small business, getting away with not planning specifically is probably okay. You can get away with it. I mean, it's not ideal. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can get away with it in a sense. Mm-hmm. The minute you get really busy and you have to post all the time, you've got clients texting you, you have to schedule in meetings, you have to do programs. That's when you just realise, like, hold on a minute. Like, I'm fucking overwhelmed now. But it always comes down to the same thing. It's just not adapted right to the planning. So, mate, it's probably about half, to be honest. But now that I know that, because I didn't know that to begin with, I put that step in place beforehand now to get them planning straight away. That's one of the first things we teach the new people that come in, is to plan, because I didn't know that was going to present itself as big as it did. And like, you know yourself, mate, and even in the fitness game and the fat loss clients, like, if the same thing persists, then you know you need to put a stop to it quicker.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. So, mate, one reason why I decided to do this is because you're very big on Instagram, especially at the minute, about in your Instagram post talking about how little you use Instagram, right? And that for me, mate, that's a massive time drain, because I do a lot of outreach, starting conversations with people. To be honest, a lot of the time I'm admittedly fucking around on it and just like, picking up for no reason. But how do you get your Instagram time so low? And guys, if you haven't seen Chris's stories, we're talking a lot of days he's sub 15 minutes per day on it, while obviously running a very successful business. So talk to us a little bit about that and your social media tactics personally.
Mate, it's just like anybody who's listened to our podcast before, when you brought me on, it's so simple, mate. Like, I only go in there to post what I need to post for my business, whether it's a story, where it's a reel. Josh does the feed, which is fine, does the post. However, I do not scroll through anybody else's shit. I used to actually scroll through a lot of my coaches' shit so I could see what they're up to, but in reality, that's just micromanaging. It doesn't work. I'll spot check them sometimes. So a random Friday, I'll just go and make sure their feeds look okay and their stories are doing okay and they're doing what they say they're doing, and then I'll just leave it. But you really have to, if you're focused on your own mission, you shouldn't be looking at whether some other coach is squatting or some guy just done a 200 kg deadlift or any of that shit. It's not going to bring any value to your business. Now, if you enjoy that in your downtime, so I like watching, say, a movie on a Friday night. If you love fucking scrolling through Instagram for your downtime, batter in. But I guarantee you, it's not enjoyable because maybe you do like watching people like deadlifting and squatting, but then you'll scroll past something that's going to trigger you a wee bit. Some other coach who's maybe doing better than you in some way, or some guy who's trying to trigger people in other ways, and you start getting annoyed. So that's when it doesn't become downtime, I think. What a lot of these coaches need to realise is the number one thing for business life, outside of family and all that, if we're talking about just business solely, is you need to be focused on your main mission, not anybody else's mission, not anybody else. You should not be looking at other people's shit. It's not going to do anything for you at all. So like you said there, Rosa, you like to do a lot of outreach, and that's cool, that's good, mate, because you're using your time productively on Instagram. But then you said you'll get caught because it's designed to distract you. That's what it's for. They want to keep you on the platform as long as possible. So you'll send your DMs out, and then you'll click on that wee button that takes you back to the story feeds or whatever, and then there you go, scroll, and it's fucking addictive, mate. I've done it myself. That's why I've became what I'm now, because I was, fuck me, man, I'm always scrolling on this Instagram. It doesn't do me any good at all, mate. Like, I can guarantee you, I've not benefited from scrolling a single time on Instagram. I promise you. Nothing like that returns an investment for business. It just doesn't. If you look at somebody and go, that's a good idea, it's not your idea, and it's probably not his idea as well. It's another business idea that you might have seen anyway, or you've heard about it before, but they're just talking about it now. So you already knew about it.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And like I said, Instagram is a drain for me. And what some people messaged me last time about how I opened up about some personal stuff on the last business podcast. So I'm going to talk about me personally. I could get my check-ins done in probably half the time if Instagram wasn't there, because what happens is I will record a check-in reply to somebody's pictures and everything, maybe a 2 to 5 minute reply. Wait for it to load up in the Loom and the email, and then after a while that's all happening, I'm grabbing the link and copying it across. I just open my phone and see if any conversations have started again or what's going on. And it just, like you said, it's distraction. I'll watch a couple of stories and I'll go down a rabbit hole, or I'll start a conversation which could be done later in the day, but I'll think, oh, this person might be keen about coaching, so let me just message them back. And then I'm not doing the one thing that I could be doing twice as fast if the main thing people pay me for is their check-ins. Evaluating the plan, assessing progress, and I'm taking longer than needed to do that because I'm being distracted by potential new business, or like that shiny object syndrome of, oh, Chris has got a new story up. What's Chris saying on his fucking Nitrafit feed, So, big time, man. Like that is a big time, drain, I would say, where people just waste their time on that. But let's talk about planning people's days, because you talked about that at the start, about how it needs to be down in front of you, or like in a calendar, or whatever way you track it. So what way do you personally like to do things, and what really reaps the most reward for you there?
So I use a couple of different things at the same time. Definitely Google Calendar. Like, I just love it. It's got you can put different colors on it, and I love that shit. When I see so I'll be able to say all my coaching calls with the one-to-one clients are in a kind of light blue color. So when I open up my calendar, I just can tell straight away by the color coding that that's just calls that day. So at a quick glance, I'll be like, right, most of my days filled with calls. If it's anything red, it's usually Nitrafit-based business growth work. So I know, like, at 6 in the morning, it's red. I'm going to be doing something like learning on a video or implementing some sort of action. So most of the time, though, I use Google Calendar for when I need to be somewhere. If I need to be on a call, an appointment, if I was a coach like PTing, I would have it in there. So when I have to physically be somewhere or be on the phone and somebody else needs me, it goes in Google Calendar. Because that's the place I'm always going to look and check stuff up. So when it comes to to-do lists and all the other wee things like my ideas and my brainstorming, I use a journal for that. Because I find if you put too much into Google Calendar, it can look overwhelming. even though you've got it down there, but it's all like, it's just too packed and your day looks crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I just find that the writings down and stuff, like my goals and my plans and my main 3 things for the day, are all better written down so that I can see it anyway and it's in my brain.
Yeah.
But when I need to be somewhere, mate, that's where Google Calendar comes into play. Like this podcast with you is in my Google Calendar because I know I have to be present at 7 a.m. UK time to speak to Big Oza.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So all my main times when I need to be present for something goes in Google Calendar, and then a couple other wee things as well that kind of matter. But that's probably like 80% of my week goes in there, and then the rest is done through my journal. Now you can get all different types of journals, but I'm obviously working with Paul Mort just now, so I've got his Unstoppable journal, and it's just a case of like every week you'll put down what you're planning to do that week, the main 3 tasks, and then any other task you think you might need to do for the business after these 3 main tasks are done. And it's just a basic like morning questions and nighttime questions, like how do you want to feel the day energy wise and all that kind of stuff. So it just sets you up for a positive mindset. But in terms of planning, mate, that's the 2 main things that I do to make sure I'm on track every day with what I need to do, and I'm not overwhelmed and I'm not stressed, and all this shit doesn't sit in my head, because it will do that. The worst place you can keep it, guys, is in your head. I don't care if you literally open a fucking blank piece of paper, A4 size, and just write on it. It's going to be better than keeping it in your head. It's the worst place to be. That's when you feel overwhelmed, when you think there's too much to do and everything's a priority when it's not.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. I think something you said there as well was like the 3 biggest things of the day, because this is something that whenever I'm doing one-to-one mentoring with people and I look at, right, why did you decide to do that task rather than that? I'm trying to get them to think about what they're prioritizing. Was there any urgency to that task, or did they just do it because it's the first thing they wanted to do? Whereas what you're talking about is essentially, like, imagine we're trying to fill up a glass, right? And we've got rocks, pebbles, and sand. Like, you put the big rocks in first, then you put the pebbles in, and then you put the sand, and that way you can get the most into the glass. If you start with the fucking sand, you're gonna have no room for the big rocks in the glass, you know?
Perfect.
So a lot of times people will have these 100 things to do. They might need to fix something on their website or get a link tree thing done or a type form, but they're not actually doing the big things that get you there. And something that an old mentor taught me was do the things that get you paid first. So for me, that's current client service, which is, you know, WhatsApp clearance, if they've got messages, check-in replies, because that's the main reason why people pay you as a fitness coach, is to move towards their goals. And then after that, it's like sales calls or whatever you want to call them, brainstorm calls or consult calls, whatever they are. They're the three most important tasks. And once you do them, you know, outside of your normal sessions, then you get into all the other little things like websites or this. So like you said, my biggest 3 things for today were a consult call, a podcast, which I'm recording now, and my clients today. After that, well, actually, I don't actually count my clients, because that's I'm there all the time. Check-ins would probably be my other big thing there today. After that, then everything else, if I get those done, then I'll look at my website. I'll look at learning something. I'll look at doing something else. And especially whenever I'm on a tight schedule where we're going to pick up Evie from daycare, or I'm going out for dinner or breakfast on the weekend or whatever it might be, I'm going to make sure I'm prioritizing the biggest thing that day. So let's talk a bit about that. What do you consider as a sort of essential task? Let's talk about you as your business mentor, and like, what would be the biggest rocks that you would put in daily, and what's all the little things that sort of sprinkle around that?
Just for me personally, my own business,
Yeah.
What I focus on, So, mate, anything that moves the needle, like you said, anything that's going to move the needle first. Absolutely. If the needle is the sales, the marketing, anything that moves the business forward for growth. Because remember, guys, we're talking about money, but the more people you can help and support, the more money you make. So when we say move the needle, we're really just saying working with more people, which is what we want to do. We want to help people, but we also want to get paid. It's fair trade. So like the first things I really do is I check my Facebook ads. That's one of the things I do every day. Check my ad stats to make sure they're working properly. Check the leads, follow up with the leads, try and get them signed up into the business. So that's the first thing, because that's moving the needle, like literally move the needle. So that's the first thing I do. Then I look at my diary, mate, and I'll just see what I've wrote down as my biggest tasks. But always, like the routine is to check the Facebook ad stats to make sure the needle's moving properly. And if I need to adapt anything on those ads, it gets done right there and then. Because ultimately that's the system where I'm sleeping during the night and I wake up and I've got like 4 leads sitting there. So I've not had to really post because the ad's been running itself anyway. I've just made the post for the ad like last week, and it's been running since then. And I'll wake up to new leads,
Yeah.
and then I'll get them signed up today. So I'll deal with that first. I'll make sure everybody's dealt with, and that's the main thing, mate. And then it's a case of all different things after that. So whatever I put down as my priorities, I'll go and work on it. So for today, Friday, it's a bit different today. So finalise new coaching system is one of my big ones today, because the next month there's going to be a change up in the way that I deliver the one-to-one mentoring off the back of my chat with Paul yesterday. So that's one of my main tasks today, because it needs done ASAP, because the amount of time spent on the current model isn't going to allow me to move that forward properly. What I said to Paul yesterday was I need to find the balance between scale, which I don't want to scale too high because I still want to deliver. So me and him worked out where that fine line would be and how we can do it. So I'm kind of tailoring off here, but that's the one of my main tasks today after the ads. And then the other one is sort an event. So I want to sort an event for my own coaches first. I'm not going to reveal it here. Actually, I'll reveal it to you after the chat, because I don't want to. It's something that I've not seen anybody really doing.
Yep.
That I know of anyway. So we'll chat about it after that. So that's my big task for today, mate. But like periodically, it's always a case of Facebook ads in the morning, make sure everything's good, and it's usually coaching calls after that, mate.
Yeah.
That's the big tasks.
Yeah. And like I said, there are a lot of people think that, you know, their clients' sessions or whatever, or your mentoring calls, they're kind of one of the big things, but that's locked in your diary. Is you have to turn up to those things. So what I'm trying to get at is the biggest rocks after those. So that's why when I said my clients this morning, I quickly changed it, because like, no, hang on, that's always the same. Like check-ins are one of those big rocks that come after you've done all your scheduled stuff. How do you prioritize all this stuff? Like if you don't have this written down where it's clear that check-ins are the most important, or podcast, or that the consult call is the most important, then you're not going to know what to tackle first, and you might do them in a half-assed sort of order that then leaves you scrambling about trying to finish everything on time, or working late when you really could just be chilling with your family because you haven't done your fucking check-ins because you prioritize all this other pointless shit during the day, which is fucking waste of time. We're not in business to work all day every day and then ditch our families, like, you know. So
no, but we speak about we've started kind of implementing the 4Ds, we call it, for when you are kind of like overwhelmed, or you're not planning properly, or you're procrastinating on tasks you should do. And the 4Ds is like, I think you might have heard it in the podcast, actually, I'm not sure, Rosa. But the first one would be, but they're not in order, any specific order. Delegate it. Could the task be delegated to anybody? So a lot of people think, oh, I can't hire anybody. But what if you've got a wife? What if you've got a sister who's got a skill that you could say, you could probably do this behind the scenes for me? I can either give you a small bung, or they'll probably do it for free because of your sister or your wife or your brother or one of your good mates. So delegating a task is one of the things that I kind of try and say to do first. The other one is, like, I say delete it, but really I mean defer it. Does it need done today? Most of the time it's not, mate. Most of the time the tasks, the smaller tasks don't need done right away.
Yeah.
They could be next month, it could be next year. So when I come back from my holiday, guess how many emails I had? I had 540 emails. Do you know what I did with them?
Delete.
Select, clear all. Because if it's important, they'll get back to me, mate.
Yeah, that's true.
I was like, select, delete all. So I bet it's going to be a load of shite. Going to be a load of shite, mate. So just deleted them all. So it just disappeared, and I just felt brilliant after it. So I basically deferred that whole system. I deleted that whole system. That's what I did there. If you want me and it's really important, you'll get back to me.
Yeah.
Then other ones, directly link it to something more important. So if you don't love planning, you need to plan. So you need to directly link it to something that means a higher value for you. So if you say to me, just for example, if people listening now, I know you're a planner, mate, so I'm just using you as an example. Chris, I'm doing this for my family, I'm doing it for Evie, I'm doing it for my missus. I want to make a better life for us, but I just don't like planning. I really hate it. It puts me off my week. I procrastinate on it. I'd say, well, mate, if you don't plan properly, what do you think that's going to look like for your business in the long term? And how are you going to then provide for your family? Because the lack of planning is going to hold you back for growing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you directly link it to something bigger, then that's when you start to say, right, okay, I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people at the beginning don't love planning, mate. Like when I used to be a PT bath suite, I never really even had a diary or anything like that. I was doing like 50 sessions, and the way I was finding people's sessions was through text message.
Yep.
I would go back and say, like, say I was PTing you, you're one of my clients. I was like, where's Big O's conversation in the chat? I'd go back to it and say, all right, I said Thursday at 7. And that's what I would do, mate. After every session, I go scrolling down. I'm sure Oren's in the day. Like, okay, bye. Oh no, it's not Oren. Shit. Oh, is it Stacey? No, it's not Stacey. That's what I used to do, mate. Absolute riot. Although I was making a lot of money, I was just trading time anyway, and my business was a riot, mate. There was zero planning in it at all. So that does not work, mate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm just rambling on there, but
man,
you know
and to put it into perspective for people who don't know, like when you were doing that system, I'm pretty sure it was when I was working with you in Bath Street, and you were the busiest PT by a mile. It was back to back to back, like non-stop. Well, at least probably 50 sessions a week, some weeks.
Yeah. 50, mate. I had the 50s, yeah.
50, like that would have been consistently as far as I remember as well. So you got 50 sessions a week where you're literally scrolling through your text messages saying, fuck, is Owen today? Oh no, it's Stacey. Oh no, hang on, it's actually Brian. Like it's and that worked for you at the time, but now looking back, you're like, fuck, if I had known a bit about planning, I could have like been a lot less stressed, done a lot more like.
Well, yeah, it didn't work for me because I was spending 5 minutes panicking.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't find the texting time before somebody come up. Well, somebody would come up the stairs anyway. That was a good thing about it, mate. I knew I had a session, and somebody would come up and say, "Hi, Chris," and I'd be like, "All right, let's go." Didn't know it was you. Didn't even plan your session anyway. I was just fucking fanning about, not being a good PT really in a sense. I was just probably going to do a similar workout that I did with the lady before that back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mate, the other D, just because I only said 3 there, was do it different. So do the task different. So we all know that there's probably the best way to do some things, right? So if I say to you, as I'm looking to get shredded for competition, you'd probably say, like, mate, you need a basis of this type of workout for your body type, these calories, these macronutrients, and it's probably a more efficient way that could get me a 10 out of 10 result. Now, I might not want to do that, so then you have to find a way that you could get an 8 out of 10, but you still get it done, as opposed to me just crumbling on the plan because I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say do it differently, because it's better an 8 out of 10 than a 0 out of 10 because you're procrastinating on the plan because you don't want to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just find a way that you love to do it. So we all do different things. Even me and you probably do something differently. It probably ends up with a similar result in some way, but maybe you do some way that I'm like, I don't want to do it that way, man. It's just like too much for me, or I don't enjoy that part of it, or I'm just going to try and find a way that I enjoy doing it. We tell our clients that all the time, that the fat loss clients, don't we?
Yeah.
Like the cardio and all that. Like, I love MMA and fighting style cardio, so I'm more likely to continue that cardio with the same result as I would if I was doing another type of cardio that I didn't enjoy as much, that I would probably just quit on.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%.
So do it different. That's the 4th D.
Yeah, man. Okay, that's loads in there, man. So, and that's a little system that people can take, like, checklists through, like, oh, can I delegate it? Nah, I don't want to delegate it. Can I do it differently? Okay, yeah, maybe we can just do it this way. And then you find out how to do it differently. You reach out to somebody for help saying, listen, I'm doing this, hate fucking doing it. How can I do it better? How can I do it differently? So that's awesome, man. What about some productivity techniques? Like, I'm thinking of stuff like the Pomodoro technique, which I'm pretty sure is like 20 minutes of work and 10 minutes off. So like, if you can focus in for those 20 minutes, do you do anything like that normally, or what do you normally do?
Nothing like that, mate. I've tried the time blocking before, which is like working for 30 minutes. It's a similar kind of thing, mate. To me, it's just I end up just doing the things that I find most valuable anyway. So these things definitely do work, mate. But probably all the person who needs to implement that into their life and business is that they don't value what they're doing enough anyway. And that's why they have to find systems to do it. So, like I said before in my podcast, and probably to all my coaches, nobody has to motivate a 13-year-old boy to play the computer, or somebody who loves shopping. You don't have to motivate them to go shopping. It's the same with this, mate. You don't have to motivate yourself to do tasks that you love doing for your business, because you love doing it and you value it. Now, again, if you are starting out as a coach and you don't have people to delegate tasks to, then that's when you have to direct link it to something more valuable.
Yeah.
Because the bigger picture is, you want that life that your business can provide for you, and one of these tasks needs to be done. So instead of looking at it as a pure, right, I'll just set 20 minutes to do this task, and then I'll take the 10-minute rest that it says, don't want to do it. You still don't want to do it, pretty much is what I'm saying, but you force yourself to do it. and you might not do as good a job as it. Now, I'm not putting that system down, by the way, because it works with millions of people, it's good. But if you can directly link things that you're doing in your business that you don't love because you can't delegate it or do it differently, then you just need to directly link it to a higher value, which is whatever you're doing that for, family, yourself, you came from a bad background, whatever those things are. As soon as you can directly link it to the bigger picture and why you're doing the things you're doing, then you'll be able to do it a lot better.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And talking about delegation, you said about how that's the first D. It's probably one of the easiest to do, because if you don't like doing something, the easiest thing to do is ship it off to somebody who will do it for you, whether it's a spouse, whether it's somebody on Fiverr or Upwork or one of these websites. What do you personally delegate, and what are you currently doing that you might delegate in the future, perhaps, or like talk to us about that?
The question should probably be, what am I not delegating? Okay, so I'll try not to talk too long here because it's going for ages. When Nitrafit first started, it was just a boot camp. So all the sales, marketing, all the classes, the class planning, the check-ins, the recipe packs, all that was done by me and Josh alone. And we put a lot of classes on, we had a lot of members. We were checking in with between 80 and 100 people every week. It was intense. Then the gym, then the mentorship, then the online PT, then the kids football. So here's what I delegate: everything apart from sales and marketing for the gym and the boot camp, which is all through Facebook ads and text messaging, which takes me I get people signed up within 4 or 5 text messages most of the time. If I think there's a wee bit of struggle there, I'll get them on the phone. The phone call lasts about 7 minutes. So I delegate everything apart from that. The one-to-one coaching with the PTs to grow their business, and the Facebook, the Instagram stories. That's pretty much what I do most of the time. Everything else is learning, so you can't delegate a learning task because I want to learn it.
Yeah,
that's me growing myself. So in terms of pure business wise, mate, I've got admin staff doing all how many people came to class, how many leads we got, all that kind of stuff. So admin staff to do that, coaches to do all the classes in the gym, all the classes in the boot camp. Josh, my business partner, he loves the social media, so he does all the feed stuff on the social media, organic. He does most of that. So yeah, mate, pretty much everything apart from what I just told you there is delegated, because me and Josh ourselves can't do all that stuff and grow the business at the same time. So we invested, and I've got somebody to do my funnels as well now. Just adding that on. We invested straight away in coaching staff, because even though we could barely just pay them at the beginning, and sometimes had to reactively sell online PT to pay for the pitches and the coaches, we knew in the bigger plan it was going to be able to help us grow the business quicker. So we took that chance and thought, you know what, let's bet on ourselves that we can make this grow bigger with the coaches coming in, taking classes, and we'll start working on bigger sides of the business to grow it.
Yeah,
man. I'm pretty much delegating a lot of stuff. Something I I love the Facebook ads, but I've literally just hired somebody on Monday there to do my Facebook ads for me now. A guy from Paul Mort, Elite X Group. So he's literally running the ads for me since Monday.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I've delegated that as well. So
yeah, so you're literally just focusing on the service and stuff that you said before drives the business forward. But that's a good conversation, because you couldn't afford to pay the coaches at the time every week. Maybe you might have had a drop in revenue, and you couldn't afford the coaches or the pitches, and you had to reactively sell, like you said. But how did you get in the mindset of delegating that? Because people often with their business, for example, I'm basically a one-man show. I've got my bookkeeper, I've got people who help me with Fiverr, and I've got my go-to people who I delegate stuff to. But in terms of actually hiring a coach, a lot of people, it's their baby, it's their clients who are trusting them with the result. Sometimes it's hard to give away that control and that power for fear that people will either do a bad job or potentially leave and take clients away with them. So what's your advice to people to get over that sort of hump?
You just answered it by saying the word fear.
Yeah,
that's it. Stop being scared. You're all those fears are you just making stories up in your head. What if they don't? What if the coach isn't as good as me? The coach won't be as good as you. You need to teach them and let them grow and give them that freedom. Like, I can promise you the coaches in there just now delivering gym sessions probably don't deliver them as good as I did, because I've done it longer than them, just based on experience. I've done it for 9 years. They've done it for a year. So you just have to put them in there and hope that you've educated them enough and you can continuously educate them enough. But I'm dragging on too far. It comes down to fear. Take yourself and sort of inflate your own ego to the fact that you think you're the fucking super top boy or top woman, if you listen to this, that nobody else can come in and do a good enough job that the business can still grow. So yeah, it all comes down to fears, mate, and the stories you tell yourself, which connects to the fears, because you start painting a scenario where members are going to show up and it's not going to be me. They're going to start saying, "Where's Oren? Where's Chris?" And they're just going to leave, and then the business is going to go tits up. In reality, you just made all that shit up. There's no facts. You only get the facts when you put somebody in there and you get feedback from members and they tell you it's either shit or it's really good. And then you can say, in fact, that's not working. I need to do something differently. So fears and stories, mate. Bring the facts to the table, and then you can chat about it properly instead of just stories and emotions.
Yeah, that's fair, man. That's fair. And then one big thing that you also have outsourced lately is the Canva work, which I think looks fucking impressive. I spoke to you before about it. Like, you're obviously making good stuff before. What about delegating tasks that, okay, I can make good shit on Canva, like, but you know, the whole argument of, but I've got 15 minutes, I can easily knock something up in Canva. I can literally probably do 5 images in Canva in 15, 20 minutes. Like, what's the whole argument of, but it doesn't take me that long, or I don't mind doing it? Like, when you know that you could pay somebody maybe $100 a month and they could do everything on Canva for you.
I think if you super love doing it, man, and it doesn't take a lot of time, you should probably stick to it. However, you need to do the math on it. So if it's taking you 15 minutes to do a Canva picture, how many Canva pictures are you doing for the month? How long is that taking?
Yeah.
So say it's taking you, 15 minutes a day if you're posting every day, or let's just break it down to 3 times a week, right? Because it's not always got a Canva picture on it. So just say that's 45 minutes a week minimum, mate, times the month. That's nearly 4 hours of your time doing Canva pictures, when you could have just said to somebody, here, make this for me. And that 4 hours, you could have went and learned something. You could went and learn how to use Facebook ads properly, so you can grow your business even better. Yeah. You can learn how to do anything that's going to grow your business better. Learn how to do better copywriting. Communicate with your current members. Work out in referral systems. That time could have been used more efficiently than just a fancy looking picture. It's how you value it, mate. But it was quite hard for me to give away the Facebook ads, because I actually really enjoy it. Like, I do enjoy it. But number one, this guy's better than me at Facebook ads. Fact. Like, although he did say to me on the phone, like, I hope you're not expecting better results, because your results are already amazing. I said, to be honest, mate, that's cool. But I'm just looking for somebody you do know more than me. You'll be able to help the campaign change better, quicker, more efficient each time. I might make 10 campaigns a month. 2 of them might do really well, the other ones don't. You might be able to take that to 3 or 4 good campaigns a month. Yeah. So that was the reasoning behind that, mate, is I think ultimately over the year, he'll produce better return on investment than I will, even though I still do good with the ads, but I think he'll be able to do it more consistently, more better.
Yeah, fair enough, man.
I don't know why I've answered your question, mate. Sorry, what was the question? The argument was, sorry. If you truly pure fucking love it, man, you need to do it. Yeah. Like, if you just love your dick gets hard every time you fucking open up Canva and you start looking at all the colours and you can fucking move your face about and whatever, right? Do it. You have to, because if you love it, man, fucking do it. As long as it's not holding you back and stressing you out in any way at all. You're going to cut a bit of the dick hard out, aren't you? I can see your face.
That's definitely going off as a cliff.
Brilliant, yeah. Mate, if you truly love a task, man, and you don't want to give it up and it's not hindering you in any way, fucking batter in, do it.
Yeah.
However, if it is getting in the way and it's not that important and the return on investment isn't that massive, then you could delegate it as well. Just do the sums.
Yeah, 100%. And just to throw it in there, you can't delegate this shit out and end up doing nothing with your time anyway. Like, if I take my Canva off my plate and other things and I end up just sitting fucking with my feet up watching Netflix or something, that's a negative, because I've just given up. I've got my time back, yes, which is great, but I'm not using the time productively. So you've got to give up something to help you progress in some other fashion. So
that's the point. Yeah, that's the point, mate. It's all about growth. If you want to grow your business to be as big as you think you want it to be, then you'll do the right things, mate. You won't be sitting with your feet up, because then it shows that you don't actually value what you think you're doing, because if you did, you could take action.
Yeah.
Like, nobody has to motivate you to go and spend time with you because you fucking love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine me on the phone with you, mate. Right, mate, we'll get a wee 30-minute strategy call on you being a dad with Evie. Because you need motivation to play with her and hang about with her and have fun with her. You're like, what are you talking about, mate? It's my favourite thing.
Yeah.
Because it's one of your highest values, mate, is your wife and your daughter and your new baby coming. So you don't need motivated to do that shit, mate. And don't get me wrong, being a dad's hard. Sometimes you're like, oh, fucking, I'm tired, man, blah, blah, blah. That's like wee minuscule moments in your life where you're a tired dad, kids have kept up all night, they're teething. It's not the fucking most enjoyable thing, that part. But yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And then one thing to finish on, mate, is, and this is something that's quite big in all these motivational quotes and all on social media now, but it's actually something that you should actually probably live your life by, especially if you're a business owner, is the whole, if it's not a fuck yes, then it's a fuck no, meaning that if you're not really excited about doing something, like whether it's, for example, me and you, I've got this booked in every week where me and you can do a catch up at any stage. It's a reminder for me to message you and be like, man, we're going to catch up this week. But sometimes I'm busy or you're busy, meaning that there's something that takes higher priority. If we both had a bit of downtime and we say we'll jump on for half an hour, all well and good, but it doesn't mean we got to do it all the time. Sometimes we're like, oh, fuck no, I can't do that this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to prioritize your tasks. And especially if friends want to pull you for a drink or a dinner out, or, you know, I like if somebody wanted to grab lunch with me and I meant to record a podcast, and you just got to pick things. And unless you're really, really excited about doing that one thing and catching up with somebody or whatever, if it's not that fuck yes, you just got to say no to it.
Yeah. Mate, it comes into values again though. So this is something I've learned a lot about when I was on holiday. Like, we are very good at putting our values onto other people. Do you know what I mean? If you're fucking sitting with your feet up watching Netflix, it tells me your values don't lie in your business.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting with your feet up Netflix. So then I say to you, Oza, stop fucking lying with your feet up watching Netflix. Like, I'm putting my values onto you because I love driving my business, but you don't. So I'm then like, well, let's figure out why Oren's sitting with his feet up watching Netflix and no prioritising his business, because he's not directly linking it to something bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a lot of people that say, I need to get in shape. And then you sign them up and you find out they don't really need to get in shape because they don't take any action towards it at all.
Yeah.
Because they've not linked it to something else. Does that make sense? So the values part's really something that I'm trying to get better at, mate, because it comes up quite a lot. And it's something that I've been doing for years. It's like telling people this and and I'm like, well, those are my values. And don't get me wrong, there's like, sometimes you need to give people a kick up the ass, but what you need to do is figure out their values and then work on their values with them towards the main goal.
Yeah.
Fuck all to do with planning, mate. I don't know how we ended here, but
so what about anything to finish off, bro? Because we went deep on a lot of things. We went down some rabbit holes, but is there any big rocks that we can move for people with this rest of this episode? Or do you think we've covered a lot of things?
The big one for me, mate, is definitely like we touched on it, is get it out your head. I don't care if it's on your best wallpaper in your house or your carpet. I don't give a fuck. Get it out your head and get it down and out your head in front of you.
Yeah.
Whether it's in a journal, your calendar, A4 paper, your fucking daughter's forehead, get it off your head in some way you can see it. Because trust me, inside your head is the fucking craziest place in the whole universe. Inside your own head is the craziest place for you to be. And when you get all that put in front of you, it's a game changer.
Yeah, man, that's a perfect one to finish on. I think that's bang on, mate. So, mate, you run the business challenge pretty much every month, right? For PTs and coaches to jump on and earn some extra money, low cost sort of investment. Tell us a little bit about that, and then how to get in touch for just regular coaching if the guys liked your patter and want some more Irvine in their life.
Mate, I've got two Aussies on it. There's one of your boys who you know about, and then there's another random Aussie coming on it. So I don't know how that happened, but I've got two Aussies on it this time, which is cool. It's just we're about to revamp that as well. It's basically a business growth challenge. You come on board for 30 days, and we just kind of show you how to fast track your business, but not by fucking cheating or sleazy tactics. Like how to take you from A to C, probably, right? If you're looking at the alphabet in 30 days. Put the right kind of foundations in place to move your business forward for the long term. So yeah, a bit of those fundamentals, man, because we all think we've got them, but again, there's always something missing in there. So whether you're a new PT or you've done it a bit longer and you think you need a wee revamp in some way, then that'll suit you well. Jump on the Instagram, Nitrafit, just Nitrafit on Instagram.
Yeah, Perfect, man. Perfect. Well, people should know who you are because it's, like I said, third or fourth time on. And no doubt we'll have you on again, man. Probably look at once every 4 to 6 weeks getting you on here and get another update on a different topic. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please screenshot now, tag me, tag Chris at Nitrafit, and we'll know that this is the type of stuff you enjoy. Leave a 5-star review as well. They always help with my ego and the ratings and the charts as well. So, but Chris, thank you for your time, mate. I appreciate it, and I will get you on the podcast very soon, mate.
Cheers, big guy. Thanks for listening, guys. See you soon.
Thanks for joining me on today's episode of The O Show. If you know somebody who needs to hear this episode today, please share this with them via message or on social media. Don't forget to also take a screenshot and share it on your story and tag me at Oren McCorry so we can continue to grow the podcast and help more people change their lives with the advice given here. Also, keep the 5-star reviews coming over on iTunes, as that helps people who normally wouldn't listen to the show find it and get the O Show in their ears and drive the podcast forward to help more people around the world with the advice here. Have a great day, and I will speak to you soon.